Welcome back to my channel, and a special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Jen Clayton Beauty. We do everything beauty and makeup, and that includes every month I rank all of the eyeshadow palettes from worst to best that I tried in the previous month. In the month of July, I tried 7 eyeshadow palettes, and I will say, full transparency, this ranking was really hard because every one of these palettes was good, and most of them were really good. So it was hard to place them in the ranking. Truthfully, like I said, all of these palettes are good. Really, the top 6 of them are exceptional, and I just kind of had to rank them based on how often will I use them, color story, uniqueness to my collection. But this was a really hard ranking because all the palettes were so good in the month of July. So if you're excited, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not. Turn your bell on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. And like I said, we do an eyeshadow palette ranking every month, and at the end of the year, I do a massive eyeshadow ranking and declutter video. I will have all of the palettes that I'm ranking today in the description box with a direct link to purchase them, discount codes, everything for you. You guys like to pick up a lot of the palettes that I share in my ranking, so I'll have those linked at the top of the description box, as well as my favorite beauty boxes, all of the makeup that I'm wearing in today's video. If you would like to shop this look, discounts to my very favorite indie brands, and come follow me on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. So let's rank these 7 eyeshadow palettes I tried in July. So like I said, this was a really good month of eyeshadow palettes. It was really hard for me to rank these. None of these were bad palettes, but they all had to go somewhere in the ranking. So starting with number 7, or the worst palette of the month, is this little quad from LA Colors. This is the Just Vibin Quad in Feelin' Good. Now this is a dollar store little quad. This was actually really good quality. I did an entire video, it's actually coming out a little bit later this month, of Dollar Tree makeup, a full face of Dollar Tree. And I tried this eyeshadow palette in there, and spoiler alert, this is a pretty good eyeshadow palette. I feel like LA Colors Dollar Tree makeup has really stepped up their game, but it just doesn't compare to the other palettes that I tried in July. Some of my favorite indie brands released palettes, some just really top notch, but this is absolutely not a bad little quad, and this is $1.25. Not $1.25. Again, this is the LA Colors Just Vibin' and Feelin' Good, and comes in at number 7. Now the other 6 of these palettes could have went anywhere in the ranking. Again, I did this based on color story and how much I will use it, because all of these palettes performed so good. So coming in at number 6 is from Cosmic Brushes, Cosmic Beauty. This is the Nude Trolls palette. So they released a cool Trolls and a Nude Trolls palette, and I picked them both up. I really love the Cosmic Brushes brand. I have a full video on this. I did 2 looks, one using each of the palettes. I think I have videos on almost all of these, or all of these, so I will put the corresponding videos in the description box along with the links to the palettes. Now this palette is gorgeous. It performs beautifully. The shimmers are spectacular. The mattes are spectacular. The reason this is ranking at number 6 is because it's a neutral palette. And how many neutral palettes does one person need, especially someone like myself who's very much a colorful lover? I know I'm wearing a neutral look today, a cool tone neutral look, but I am typically a colorful lover. But what I love about this palette, and I say this all the time, is for me to want to use, enjoy a neutral palette, it has to have a twist. This one does. The shimmers give it a major twist because they are spectacular, but there's also this entire bottom row of pinks, purples, and this deep dark black, which again elevates a neutral look. So you can do neutral shadows and then pop in a little bit of color on the lower lash line, or maybe you want to use a purple shimmer on the lid with a neutral look, and that gives this a twist, which makes this a neutral palette I will absolutely reach for. Formula is fantastic. I love this brand. It just had to go somewhere in the ranking, and so it fell at number 6. So coming in at number 5 is the new palette from Adept Cosmetics. This is the Legend of Ardra palette. This is so good. I mean, these, like I said, these palettes were so hard to rank. They all should be number 1, really, truly, because they're all that good. This palette is beautiful. It is 2 full rows of gorgeous Adept shimmers, multi-chromes, duochromes, sparkly shimmers, and then 1 row of mattes. Now, Adept for me has been really good for the most part. We did have a little bit of a miss in a palette because of the mattes, but these mattes perform beautifully. I actually used all 3 of these mattes in my eye look. I'll link the video I did with this palette. Since then, I've tried the other mattes. They're all really, really good. That's what I was nervous about with this palette because this is a $75 eyeshadow palette. Now, I do have a discount code. Again, everything is in the description box, but where this shines, as always with Adept, is the shimmers. These 2 sparkly, kind of swirly shimmers are beautiful. They're very unique. Lots of multi-chromes, lots of really wet foiled shimmers. This palette is really good. One of the best that Adept has released lately, along with the Amy Loves palette. I loved that one as well. The Legend of Ardra is fantastic. It's a little bit lower in my ranking because it is a shimmer heavy palette with just, 5 mattes to choose from, but it's the really, 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 really good Adept Cosmetics formula. Next up is a really affordable palette that blew my mind, and that is the newest release from Beauty Bay, and this is the Botanical palette. This palette is gorgeous. I am obsessed with the look I created in my video. Again, my video will be in the description box for you. This is a kind of fall color story, honestly, neutral with a twist. I love that we have nicely laid out quads to make the eye looks super easy to put together. I actually use this kind of fun pinky purple gunmetal row in my look. Like I said, I loved it. Pop some green on the lower lash line. The mattes, spectacular. The mattes, amazing. The shimmers, amazing. Everything about this palette, amazing. And it's less than $25. It is such a good palette, such a fantastic formula. I have since created a look with this little cool toned quad right here. Loved that. I popped this kind of plum on the lower lash line. It's just a beautiful palette. Everything about the palette is really, really good quality. The price cannot be beat. And like I said, I love that they have laid out quads for you to make creating looks easy. Such an amazing palette. I mean, it's $50, $60 palette for less than $25. So that is the Beauty Bay Botanical palette. Next up is back to Cosmic Brushes, and we have the Cool Trolls palette. So we have the Nude Trolls and the Cool Trolls. Now the Cool Trolls is a cool tone color story that's a little bit more colorful, and that's why this just ranked a little bit higher than the Nude Trolls. Now there is a nude neutral row, which is really nice. I'm glad that they did that and didn't make it a full colorful palette, because that way, if you don't want to buy both and you love the colorful shades, but you also want the option of neutrals, they've given that to you in this palette. So this whole row here is neutrals. And then you have kind of a purpley pink row, a kind of deep dark blue row, and a purple row. This palette is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love a good cool tone color story. I'm wearing a cool tone look today. Everything about this palette, similar to the Nude Trolls, is a 10 out of 10. I just like this color story better because it's colorful, it's cool tone, and I love the inclusion of the neutral row. It really is such a well-rounded color story, and the formula is exceptional. So that's the Cosmic Brushes Cool Trolls. Number 2 is Unearthly Cosmetics, and this is the Night Terror palette. This is their Halloween mystery box palette. So the little mystery box came with an eyeshadow palette, a lip gloss, which I have right here. Love this lip gloss, and a duochrome multi-chrome liquid highlight. Again, I do have a full video testing out the entire box. I'll link it for you. This palette is gorgeous. This is a purple palette. It is a monochromatic palette with a twist because there is this kind of pinky purple lavender shade, and then we've got a pink and a brown. So it does make this not just your basic monochromatic palette. It actually has some different colorful options. Now, I did a little bit of more of a monochromatic eye look and loved it. I will actually tell you that I ran a few errands the day that I used this eyeshadow palette, and I got so many compliments. Actually, people were asking about my lip gloss, and people were commenting on the eyeshadow look that I had. This is the amazing Unearthly formula. You know that Unearthly is my favorite indie brand, hands down my favorite indie brand, and this is as good as everything they've ever released. They just get better and better. Their shimmers get more sparkly, their mattes get more buttery and blendable. Love this palette, absolutely love it. I love Halloween, I love it. Drum roll, please. Coming in at number 1 for July is another Unearthly Cosmetics palette, and this is the High Temp. This is the most beautiful summer palette I have ever laid my eyes on, put on my eyes, put my fingers into, my brushes into. It's absolutely amazing. I love everything about this. The formula, exquisite. The mattes, perfect. The shimmers, gorgeous. We have 8 mattes and 4 shimmers, and she did such a good job with the shimmers because we've got kind of this pink black based multi-chrome. We've got this deep kind of reddy pink. I actually used that shade in my look, beautiful. And then we've got a gold and a more neutral. So there's so many possibilities by pairing these 4 shimmers with these gorgeous mattes. This yellow is one of my most favorite yellows, and this orange is like this bright neon orange, kind of like my nails. It's absolutely beautiful. The mattes translate just like they look in the pan on the eyes. And then we've got some toned down mattes. We've got some pinks and a brown to deepen up the outer corner. Neutral looks can be created, colorful looks, a beautiful sunset with the yellow, orange, and red. It's just beautiful. Like I said, it's the most amazing summer palette that I have in my collection. I have reached for this so many times. And when I think about this palette, look at this palette, dream about this palette, it makes me excited. And that's why it had to be my #1 palette for July. So that's the Unearthly Cosmetics High Temp. So that is ranking the 7 palettes that I tried in July. And like I said, this was the hardest ranking I've had to do to date. It was just so hard because everything was so good. It just came down to color story and how excited I was about the palette. But I will use every single one of these over and over and over again. I want to use them. I want to reach for them. And that says a lot because we usually have a dud or two, and this time, no duds. They were all fantastic. As a reminder, all of the palettes will be linked down below for you. Discount codes, all the information, all the videos. Actually, like I said, I created videos for all of them. You just won't see the Dollar Tree video until after this one is up, but there is a video coming testing that out. It was a good month, a really good month of eyeshadow palettes. Let me know down below, are you gonna pick any of these up for yourself? Do you own any of these? What are your thoughts on my ranking? Let me know down below. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn your bell on so you never miss a future ranking. And like I said, I do upload lots of new videos every single week. Along with the palettes, in the description box will be my favorite beauty boxes, the makeup that I'm wearing today, if you would like to shop this look, discounts to my very favorite indie brands, and come follow me on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. So my July eyeshadow palette ranked.